really proud of their work. I'm proud of the partnerships, and it's great to share that with our guests. Our guests love it. Let me just take 1 second to, we do exit surveys of our guests to find out what their favorite exhibit was. And typically, you would expect the great megavertebrates are going to get the attention. But on the days when the keepers that have done the field work with the condors are at the condor exhibit talking to our guests, condors come out #1 every time. It's absolutely the most gratifying thing to find Californians finally really excited about an iconic endangered species in our own state.
It's definitely true and important that how you behave in your own backyard is going to also influence your feelings about the wider world. But I come from Kenya, where I've seen how conservationists work at the sharp end of conservation, and that most of the time they're operating on an absolute shoestring. And there's this crazy statistic that I've been told from the David Shepherd Wildlife Foundation in Britain, that of all the money that gets given to animal charity, only 7%, or about 7% of that money, goes to wild animals. So that tiny little slice of the pie has to be shared by orangutans and rhinos and saola and elephants and all the rest of it. Now, when we look at zoos and we see the kind of money we think is going into there, I think, Ian, I'd like to know from you, what obligations, in your opinion, should zoos have to do international conservation work?
There's a lot that zoos have done, and I must acknowledge that, because I was rescued in my second year of my doctoral thesis by the New York Zoological Society, now WCS, and it made my life and it made my career. And there are too many zoos for me to mention how often we've had interventions. But I think that there is that stark contrast between the amount of money that gets spent on a new block for orangutans or elephants or whatever it might be. It's a staggering sum of capital, and what can actually go out into the field. So when you're juggling your budgets and your businesses, which must be very tough, maybe you could do something like unlock the doors to corporate finance for us conservationists, because you know the ropes there, and maybe you can make the introductions. By extension, there are the big issues and causes. So it's wonderful when you can use your outreach to help save a species through the media, through education, and above all, through your